And we are recording. Guess what, folks? Hopefully it's still going to be a Sunday when this gets uploaded. Yes, it fucking is. Time for a bit of what's up. Really, really late in recording this. Had a couple of visitors up. Couple of very old friends that I haven't seen for a long time. One of them's in the military, and he's going to be shipped back out to one of the bases in Europe for a joint something or other. Haven't seen them in years. Yeah, they were looking good. They're looking a lot fucking better than I am, put it that way. But yeah, it was fun catching up with some very old friends. Anyway, yes, yesterday the first of the two mixing episodes should have been uploaded. If you haven't seen the short that I put up, one of the items didn't arrive. Now, technically, some mixers are going to get a little bit, technically you don't need them. Nitrile gloves. Even just ordinary marigolds, like rubber gloves that you use to do the washing up, would technically work. But nitrile gloves, they're a lot more tactile. They're a lot more tactile because they're thinner and they're nitrile based rather than the big thick rubber gloves that you use to, do your washing up and stuff. I'd rather do it by the book. Basically, I'd rather do it by the book with the nitrile gloves. They're going to be arriving Tuesday, I think Amazon were saying. So I'll be recording probably both parts, the first and second part of the mixing episodes. Part 1 will be uploaded on March the 5th. Part 2 will be uploaded the following Saturday. And then it's a week break, and then the back half of March, that's when season 4 will begin to kick off. Here's the thing though, I mean, I chose Prime shipping and it said it was going to arrive on Thursday. Did it fucking, I thought, well, I'll sit back, because then I get pushed to Friday, and I sat back on Friday morning up at the studio, because it was a mixing video. I can record that practically as is without having to do any editing. Didn't arrive, and I was like, what? Didn't arrive on Saturday. They don't deliver on Sunday, so it was like, well, that's going to be Monday or Tuesday. It was Tuesday. Apparently they were short stocked. That was the excuse I got from the shippers. They were short of stock, so I went, well, as long as it actually arrives here on Tuesday, that way I can record it depending on when they arrive, either Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday morning, get the thing edited on Thursday afternoon, ready to be uploaded and released on March the 5th. So, yeah, nothing I could do about it. I mean, this is why I say in these videos, do as I say, not as I do. It's a very, very old saying. It's a very, very old saying with in education circles. Do as I say, not as I do. I don't wear gloves when I'm dealing with 72 milligram Nick. If you're careful, right? If you're very careful with that bottle of Nick, right? And as you're pouring it in, you've always got a little drop. There is always a little drop left on the lip of the bottle when you tip the bottle upright again, right? With the rag that you're using, one of these, which you should always have, microfiber cloth, double it up like that, wipe off that drop, don't touch the end of it, and run the end of your rag under hot running water. Completely neutralizes the nicotine. Now, there's going to be some mixers going, oh no, you should always use gloves. Yeah, you should. Technically speaking, you should always use gloves, even if you're dealing with 72 milligram Nick. If you're in one of the countries where you can get your hands on 100 milligram Nick, oh yeah, you've fucking got to use gloves with 100 milligram Nick. But 72 milligram, I haven't worn gloves for fucking ages. Years, practically. For the first 3 or 4 mixing attempts, I always had the nitrile gloves. That's why I didn't have any in, because I don't use them anymore when I'm mixing. But it's always do as I say, not as I do. Some people may not be as careful when they're dealing with 72 milligram Nick, and they may splash some on their hand. That's when the nitrile gloves kick in and stop the majority of that being exposed onto the skin. One drop of 72 milligram, you can kind of suffer that. But if you splash a bottle, like a teaspoonful of 72mg nic on your skin. It's amazing how quick the skin can absorb nicotine. It's very amazing how quick skin can absorb nicotine. So yeah, I'm going to wait for the night trial gloves to arrive. That way when I'm doing both episodes, I've got the gloves on, I've got the digital scales, I've got everything laid out. There's going to be no DIY person screaming in the comments of the video going, "You forgot the gloves!" I'm going to make sure all the boxes are ticked. Going to make sure they're all ticked. And plus, you got to be careful when dealing with nicotine, especially if it's that mixer's very first time dealing with nicotine. You've got to be careful. Hence, night trial gloves. So there we go, folks. What am I vaping on? It's the usual setup. The G-Class V2 with the Eclipse Dual. Apparently, there's a new Mike Vapes tank. Thunderhead Creations is sending it out next week. I didn't even know Mike's got a new tank coming out, but apparently it's a new Mike Vapes tank. We'll see if it's good enough to replace the Eclipse Dual, because I've been using this tank since it came out, and it's a fucking phenomenal little tank. But we'll see how well Mike's new tank fares. I think it's a single coiler. This time round. But yeah, G-Class 2, Eclipse Dual on top. Yee. SX Mini SL Class V2 with the age-old Bogan Blotto single coiler sitting on top. Hey, there's the thing, you know, if Mike Vape's tank ends up better than the Blotto single coiler, this might be the last time you'll be seeing the Blotto single coiler. Again, this is another tank I've been using for fucking ages. It's a bloody good tank, this. And of course, 6mg. That's why I'm coughing slightly. I bumped it back up from 3. With 3mg, I was just chain vape, ploughing through black vein. And I went, you know what? I need to bump it back up to 6. That's what I done. VS Dual with a tank that's practically empty. Another thing I've been chain vaping on. With the Brunhild side-by-sider from the folks at Vapefly. This one is filled with, I can never remember the name, Nicotiana Rustica Wild Tobacco from the fine folks over at Simply Leaf. Oh, there's a throat hit. 16mg. So that's the thing. When you're that used to doing 3 or 6mg direct to lung freebase, your throat kind of starts to get used, especially if it's 6mg, your throat starts to get used to it. Then you make the jump up to 16 or 18 freebase mouth to lung. Oh, yeah, you feel that. You definitely feel that. I like the nicotine kick first thing in the morning though, along with the caffeine kick when I'm up at the studio. So, we're going to talk a little bit about this channel. As everyone knows, you should all know by now, this channel is independent. It's also my job. So all the money that comes in, this is how you know, right? Because there's people out there that says Vic should get a real job. Hence the joke that happens in the UK Vape Show where Sean or Jenny comes up with the Photoshop whiz and they stick my head on someone doing a real job and we all have a laugh. What's this? Google Chrome with the more Pinterest garbage. Go away. So what's the definition of someone who has a job? Well, number one, they go to that job, usually every day. They usually work semi or regular business hours, but more importantly, they pay tax to the government. HMRC always want the cut. Oh yeah, they always want the fucking cut. So yeah, I paid tax. I paid my taxes midway through January when I filled out my tax returns to Mr. HMRC, and Mr. HMRC took the tax returns and went, ka-ching, you owe us this much. It's not as much as I used to pay. That's true, it's not as much as I used to pay. The SNP, even though I don't agree with like three quarters of their fucking policies. The SNP have also basically cut business rates in Scotland to practically zero if you're a startup or if you're a sole trader and the property that you have for that business is under a certain limit, you basically pay no business rates. But HMRC, they always want their cut. This is how you define a job. You pay taxes direct to the government from the income that you make from that job. It's the same as if you're working as an employee at a company. The employer has to pay PYAE tax on your behalf. And then when you get your wages in, all sorts of shit gets taken off of it. National insurance, which I pay as well. Other taxes that I can't fucking remember. That's why you can define what a job actually is. Cash in hand, which is not legal, right? Cash in hand, which isn't legal, could also probably kind of be defined as a job, because you're doing a service for someone and that someone is paying you money to do that service. So where all this is leading to is how to word this. How to word this, because there's several ways of wording this. That in fact, it doesn't matter what way I fucking word it, the trolls are going to latch onto it and go, "Oh, Vic's begging!" Look at it this way. Look at Tim Pool, who does the Timcast. Look at Linus Tech Tips from Linus Tech Tips. Look at Jay's 2 cents. Look at hardware, not so much hardware on Unbox. They do a lot via advertising. Who else is there? Bitwit. All the tech scene folks. They do it in every single video, especially Tim Pool. At the very beginning, within the 5 minute mark of the first 5 minutes of his video, he pushes memberships. He pushes not so much Patreon these days because he doesn't really use it that much, but he pushes memberships on his own website. And he does it every single cast. And he does something like 1 video per day, sometimes 2 videos a day for a couple of days during the week. Look at Linus Tech Tips, always pushing lttstore.com, always pushing Floatplane, which is basically a subscriber-based system on a platform outside of YouTube. Look at Jay's 2 cents, always pushing the merch. Hell, even Boogie2988, who's fallen out of favour with a lot of people, even he pushes his merch almost every single episode. But for some strange reason, when a YouTuber in the vaping scene does it, everyone puts their arms up and goes, "Oh, why are they doing that for?" They're doing that because every other YouTuber, some of them with tens of millions of subscribers in the case of Linus Tech Tips, some of them with millions of subscribers in the case of Tim Pool, they're doing that channel as their job. Simple as that. They're doing that channel as their job. Yes, Patreon has been on a decline, and a lot of it is to do with the cost of living crisis. I'm feeling it, Mother Dearest is feeling it, you watching this show is feeling it, we're all feeling it. But what I'm saying is this: you don't have to go for the top tier. You don't have to go for the 20, 25 or 30 USD tiers on either YouTube members, Patreon or Subscribestar. Even the $1 tier or the $2 tier, if 50 people signed up for that, it would make a difference to the channel. Because I am slowly, very slowly, getting to the point where the rent for the studio is not becoming viable anymore. And there is zero chance that the reviews, or in fact, there's not zero chance that the reviews, there's zero chance that all this stuff that's sitting inside that studio can fit inside this small room. Yeah, I used to do the reviews from the bedroom a long time ago, but the problem is when you end up getting as much stuff in as I do, your bedroom and basically most of the top floor of your house essentially turns into a mini warehouse. It's basically what it turns into. That's one of the reasons why I got that studio, the original studio, in the first place in that same building. I wanted to basically move most of the electronic cigarette equipment that I was getting in out of this room, because it was getting to the point that I couldn't basically move in this room for all the e-cig stuff that I was tripping over. This channel makes the bulk, and when I say the bulk, I mean anywhere between 90 to 95% of the income is from Patreon, is from YouTube members, and it's from Subscribestar. Even though I could have went down the road, and I was thinking about it on several occasions, even though I could have went down the road of basically charging for the reviews, which, let's face it, if you go on to Reddit, a lot of Reddit people instantly think that all e-cig reviewers are being paid to do the reviews. We're not. Well, at least I'm not. Out of, on average, the 3 reviews to 4 reviews I do a week. So that's, let's make it 4, 8, 12. Suck at maths. 4, 8, 12, 16, I think. Can you tell I suck at maths? I think that's 16, call it 20-ish reviews a month, right? We're going to lump in the liquid reviews that I'm doing in there as well. Of the 20 odd reviews I do a month, only 1, at the most 2 of them are doing it via a fast track. Now, I'm going to come clean with the latest review package sheet that I sent out a couple of weeks ago. I ended up rejigging some of those packages, the 2 major packages for the fast track system. The fast track system now includes full social media coverage, so it's a little bit more enticing for that e-cig manufacturer to go for one of the fast track packages, so their review product will be spammed all over Instagram, all over Twitter, all over Facebook, all over my site, and in LinkedIn as well. Basically general social media, because I generally don't do it now. I generally don't do it now. It's one of the reasons that you don't really see pictures of me uploading pics of the stuff that I get in for review. I stopped doing that a while ago because that part was now bundled up in the first of the 2 fast track packages. You can tell when I get a fast track package in, because if I do, social media pictures go up with the latest and greatest item that's just came in for review. If you see that happening, it's guaranteed that company's paid for a fast track. Now go to my Facebook page and go to Twitter and look at the last time you've seen me spamming pictures of something that came in for review, especially over the past year when the packages were redone. Companies are no longer basically paying for fast tracks. They used to do it all the time, but now they're not. And the reason for this is a lot of these companies' marketing bills are being thrown at Instagram. They're not being thrown at the YouTube reviewers. They're not. They're simply not. If you look at the UK reviewers here in the UK, myself, Todd from Todd's e-cig reviews, I know for a fact for the bulk of his reviews he's not getting paid either. If you go down the ladder or down the names list, subscriber based, right? You've got Aidan, who doesn't really review that much right now, but he's getting back into the reviews. You've got Flatcap, who's not getting paid to do the reviews. You have got Paul, Vape Don't Smoke. He's definitely not getting paid to do the reviews. If you jump over to the United States, yes, it's true that some of them do, but look at the subscriber numbers they've got though. The likes of Grim Green with round about 500,000, probably over 500,000 now. Mike Vapes, getting close to 500,000 the last time I checked, at least I think it was Mike. Fagan, who's been bouncing around the 186,000 mark. You know, subscriber numbers, especially subscriber numbers over in the United States, is the first thing that a lot of these e-cig companies end up looking at. They end up looking at that first. Then they look at the view count. And this is where the big trip up is for a lot of the e-cig reviewers in not just the United Kingdom, but over in the United States. Viewer count is down. And it's down not just for me, but it's down across the board because YouTube decided they don't like vaping. So it's difficult. It's a lot more difficult to have an e-cig based video show up and recommended. It is a lot more difficult to have e-cig related videos showing up in search unless you directly hit a keyword in the tags, then it does actually pop up. So what do the e-cig companies end up doing? They end up going to Instagram. I know of at least 2 Instagrammers who have got a following between 50 and 100,000. They charge upwards, depending on what kind of picture the manufacturer wants. They can charge upwards of £500. In one case, that individual charges upwards of £1,000 for 2 pictures on Instagram, with them giving it all this or giving it all that. £1,000 for 2 pictures. Now, how much does vaping with vaping make in a month? I can tell you now, it's not £1,000. It's fucking nowhere fucking near £1,000. Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members combined, I am making round about £578 a month. 300 of that has to go to the rent. Now, if there is a fast track, right, and the law of averages, it's usually 1 fast track a month. The first fast track package is £100. The second fast track package, to have the review done on the 5th day, business day, I don't include the weekends, on the 5th day after the item arrives. So the item arrives on Monday, right? Item comes in on Monday. The review goes up on either Friday or the following Monday. That's the quickest that I'll do a review. I won't do a review within 24 hours. I won't basically do an unboxing review either. So that's the quickest package I've got. £200. £200. It's amazing the percentage of e-cigarette companies out there that just want the review done for free. But at the same time, they're constantly pushing you an email to do it as quick as you can. A week goes past and they get an email saying, "Oh Vic, can you do that? Can you do that review this week?" And it's like, dude, you want the review done as soon as possible? Pick one of the fast track packages. Oh well, we don't have a marketing budget, but can you still do the review this week? Oh, hold on. You don't have a marketing budget, but you're one of these companies that are throwing £1,000 for 2 pictures on Instagram. How does that work again? That's why you don't have a marketing budget, because you're spending it in the wrong fucking place. That's why. But there we go. That's the current situation. That is the current situation that's going on with this channel. Even if you're in the same boat that myself and a lot of other people are in the United Kingdom, and you simply can't afford to subscribe up to Patreon, YouTube members or Subscribestar, doing a simple thing like throwing a thumbs up to the review when it goes up, any review when it goes up, a simple thing like a thumbs up on a video does a world of good for the algorithm. A world of good for the algorithm. Yes, it's true that this channel is practically demonetized now when it comes to advertising intake. For the advertising money that used to come into YouTube, I mean, it used to be a case that this channel was making anywhere between 500 to 750-ish pounds a month. Now, this was like 2016, before they started clamping down on the ad stuff. But it used to be the case that this channel was making at least £500,000 a month. And that was back when I only had 20,000, 30,000 subscribers. But now, advertising intake, lucky if it's £10 a month. Lucky if it's £10 a month. And that's even with the likes of the unrestricted videos, which is most of Season 1 of eCig 101, half of Season 2 for eCig 101, and right now all of Season 3 for eCig 101. They're unrestricted because they're not reviews. I'm talking about electronic cigarettes in a documentary fashion. So there's a little green dollar sign. But even then, they're only dragging in £20, £30, if that. So even if the channel had all the restrictions lifted, the days of this channel advertising wise dragging in £5,000, it's not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen. I do have plans for this channel going forwards after eSig 101 ends, because the documentary style videos have been getting a little bit of a thumbs up with the people that are watching them. It is true that season 1, 2, 3 and 4 is not really there for the advanced vapor, or the hobbyist vapor for that matter. It's there for the beginners. But after season 4 ends, there is plans afoot for me to start doing more documentary style episodes that run on for an hour to an hour and a half, that look at certain segments of the industry. Certain segments of the industry, which would also mean that I could have the possibility of travelling to electronic cigarette companies up and down the United Kingdom to get their take on their industry segment. But to do that kind of content, it takes money, especially for travelling expenses. It takes money, and right now, the way things are going, it simply won't be able to be done. Simply won't be able to be done. Most of the cash right now is basically being thrown back at the company to keep the company ticking over. The rent for a start. The rent for a start's the big one. Folks are going to say, but Vic, just get rid of the studio and do it back in the bedroom again. No. You see how fucking stacked this bedroom is? There's no room. There is simply no room. All the stuff, and there's a lot of stuff up there at the studio. All the boxes of vape gear has to be stored somewhere, and it can't be stored in here. It simply can't be stored in here. It would basically mean if the studio was to shut down, a lot of the stuff in that studio, most of the vape gear, would have to be sold. And then we hit another snag. Legally speaking, I can't sell any of the vape gear I've got, the stuff that came in for review. Legally speaking, I am not able to do it. Auction it? Yes. But sell it? No. No. So if I was to shut down the studio, move in here, there would need to be a run of auctions. Literally a run of them. Week in, week out, to whittle down all the stuff that's being transported from the studio back to here. And it means that a lot of the stuff that's been kept back, especially the stuff that's on the shelves behind me when I'm doing the reviews, that would all need to go as well. All the Osmoduses would need to go. All the relatively expensive mods that I've reviewed in the past, they would need to be auctioned off as well, because simply put, there's no room here to actually store them anywhere. So the whole lot would need to go. And if it got to that stage, I would just walk away. Yeah, I would just walk away. I would shut down the business, put the channel into mothballs, shut down Vaping with Vic, and walk away. Because I would not be in the mood to basically gut what's left of the business in order to fit the business back into this bedroom again. And not just that, but doing the reviews from a private residence, that opens you up to other problems. It opens you up to a lot of problems, especially the amount of stuff that I get in, not every day, but the amount of stuff that I get in every week. It means the front door would constantly be knocked on. Constantly be knocked on. And yeah, it's I would rather have a place to go to deal with e-cigarette stuff, and have a place to come back to where I don't have to deal with e-cigarette stuff. And that's the other reason that I moved out in the first place. It's probably one of the major reasons that I done it in 2018, that I decided to rent a studio. That way, when I come back here to the house, apart from the WhatsApp and the UK Vape Show, I don't need to worry about anything else e-cigarette related when I'm here at the house. Simple as that, because from 2014 to 2018, when I was doing the reviews here at the house, every hour of every waking day, it was e-cigarettes, e-cigarettes, e-cigarettes. And I was slowly going insane. especially by the end of 2017, I was slowly going insane, being constantly surrounded with work. Constantly surrounded with work. Now, I wake up, and from 9 in the morning, when I'm at the studio, till about 4:30ish in the afternoon, when I fuck off out of the studio, that's when I deal with the emails. That's when I deal with all the stuff to do with e-cigs. And then from 5 in the afternoon, when I plank my arse in this seat, I can sit back, play Star Trek Online, World of Warships, Second Life, mess around on Facebook, put my feet up, drink lots of tea, and not worry about the e-cigarette industry until 9 o'clock the next morning. A normal job, in other words. Business hours, 9 in the morning to round about 4:30, 5 in the afternoon. Sometimes I fuck off early at 4 o'clock instead. Depends if it's too quiet. I just go, fuck it. Close up the studio, head back home. But there we go. So yeah, if you are able to support the channel, even $1, I think some of the platforms have got the $1 option. Other platforms, it's a $2 minimum. It's the way that it's the percentage that platform takes. I think was it Subscribestar or was it Patreon? It's one of those two major platforms. The minimum amount's $2 because the $1 tier, they were taking a big chunk of that away, you know, for admin costs and all that kind of stuff. And even if you can't afford it because of the cost of living crisis that's going on right now, just a simple thumbs up on the video makes a world of a difference. Makes a world of a difference on the videos. And there we go, folks. I think that basically covers everything. Yeah, I think it basically does. Covers everything. I doubt this video is going to make it up before midnight because it's 22 right now. Maybe I can edit the thing quick. Nah, I don't think it will be up before midnight. We'll see how it goes anyway, folks. We'll see how it goes. So, once again, eSig 101. Season 3, Episode 6. The first episode of the mixing one will be up next Saturday. eSig 101, Season 3, Episode 7 will be up the following Saturday. Week break, and then Season 4 kicks off. I'm already about... I reckon I'm about 60% of the way through planning out Season 4. Just the layout of what Season 4's actually going to be covering. I'm about just slightly more than halfway through it. I'll be getting stuck in about the planning stage for Season 4 next week. And the week after that, that's when I'm going to start the recordings for Season 4. But the way it's looking, it's going to be a big season. Big season. Anyway, that is it for me, folks. As always, thanks for watching and have a good one.